What is up, guys? It's Mateo's 2020 Politics here, and today I am back to talk about Donald Trump threatening to use military use against the riots. So, I'll just give you my straightforward opinion. What do I think about Donald Trump's decision? Agreed. And no, I'm not being sarcastic. I am being serious. And you guys still might not believe me because in the history of my YouTube channel, I don't think I have praised Donald Trump a single time for anything. So it might, it's probably a very rare sighting. I think this should be written in history books. Mateo Fisher agrees with Donald Trump on something. But yeah, anyways, from time to time, he does say something or do something that I agree with him on. For example, abolishing the TPP, holding a summit with Kim Jong Un, thinking Citizen Kane is one of, if not the best films of all time, and this. So why is this the right decision for the U.S. now? So, I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt because I believe in the Black Lives Matter movement. Why? Because throughout all of American history, all of it, since the beginning until the present, African Americans have been constantly oppressed. And it even gets me a bit tearful to talk about that because I'm not African American myself. I'm not. But it's just super upsetting to comprehend the thought that ever since the U.S. has been created, they've been oppressed. First, they had to go through slavery, then the Reconstruction movement, the KKK, segregation, and police killings slash shootings. So they've basically been mistreated throughout all of American history, all of it. That said, I do believe in the Black Lives Matter movement. In fact, I was in a protest a couple days ago. I stayed behind the crowd, of course, just followed it so I can keep practicing social distancing. So I am in favor of the movement, but overall, I am against these riots. Why am I against these riots? Because they are riots. They are dangerous. They vandalize stores. Not all of them. Not all the people who are participating vandalize stores, but a significant portion nevertheless do it. So let's put you in the shoes of someone who has just lost one of their two jobs, has filed for bankruptcy, and is on the brink of becoming homeless. The only source of money making you still have is your store, and even that isn't doing too well. It's the only thing that allows you to put food on your table to let your wife and children eat for the night. Then these riots come along, your store gets burnt down, and you're doomed. Your family can't eat anymore. So that's what must actually be happening to a good amount of people during these protests and riots. I don't really think some of the rioters are comprehending or thinking too deeply about the fact that damaging stores and small businesses are putting a burden on the people in charge of those stores and small businesses because they're having to struggle even more, especially since our economy is just an absolutely unrecognizable, terrible shape. It's in, straight up destroyed territory now. Nobody's really doing well except for the top 1%. So these riots aren't going to serve much of a purpose. I'm all in favor of protests. Protests are fine. I believe in freedom of speech. But riots, never. I'm not okay with that. It's just that even public protests, shouldn't have happened in the first place. Why? Because we are in the middle of a global pandemic. COVID-19 is spreading like wildfire. The CDC has said that there should be no public gatherings of 10 people or more held across the U.S. So, of all times, no, there can't be protests now because the virus is going to spread like wildfire. So, again, riots, I'm never for. Protests, I am for, but we're just not in great shape. I'm sorry. What Derek Chauvin, a complete a-hole, racist, and bigot, did to George Floyd is absolutely unacceptable. And frankly, Derek Chauvin's a bit of an idiot because he didn't seem to understand that if somebody is passed out and you continue to suffocate them, they could die, and you don't really get away with that usually. So what he did was unacceptable, completely immoral, and in normal times, we definitely should be protesting that. We should be protesting it and really show the government, hey, we need reform, we need racial justice. But of all times, now isn't the right one when we have coronavirus just spreading all across the US, all across the world. In fact, it has officially reached over 100,000 deaths in the United States, which nobody could imagine was even coming. So, what's the solution to this? What's the solution to rioters and protests ruining small businesses and possibly spreading the virus? So, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, you probably know because he's the governor of New York, he's a rising star in the Democratic Party. He has lots of name recognition now for his handling of the crisis. So, what he has done now to kind of stop the spread of COVID-19 and these protests slash riots is create a curfew. So, from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., New Yorkers can't go outside. Will that stop riots and protests? No, I don't. I don't think they will, because these protests mainly happen at night, anyways, and these people are, of course, passionate about equality among races and ethnicities, so they're going to keep protesting. The only thing that would actually stop these riots and protests would be to implement the National Guard. So once again, I don't agree with Donald Trump usually. In fact, it's very rare that I do. But I'm not a partisan hack. I can actually compliment people who I despise. I can tell them they've done something good. And what Donald Trump is talking about doing is, at least in my opinion, a good thing, because we really need to stop this, chaos basically. Especially at a time when we just started to see COVID-19 cases in New York City, New York State, and the U.S. overall either declining or starting to slow down. Just when that begins, these riots have to happen, and I bet. How much do you want to bet that the virus has increased? The infection rate, total cases have increased within the past few days. So, implementing National Guard may actually be able to end the protests and the riots, not completely, but it would kind of decrease the amount of chaos that's occurring in the U.S. right now. I mean, I'm not sure if people know how chaotic it is. There was a store owner who was defending the store with a machete, not even attacking, just defending it, and he got beaten nearly to death. Overall, there have been 8 deaths. I think it's actually more like 13 now, and they're going every day. And in addition to that, thousands have been arrested. Stores have been destroyed, buildings have been destroyed. So I'm sorry, but we need the National Guard. We really do. We need to go across party lines and understand that the National Guard may be the only solution to this issue, because we can't allow more people to die from COVID-19. So, summary of the video, I'm in favor of the Black Lives Matter movement because there's been an unacceptable amount of racial injustice in US history. But these protests, and especially riots, can't happen at this time during a global pandemic which has a virus that is incredibly contagious. It can spread through saliva droplets. So, in a time when we have an extremely contagious virus like COVID-19, it isn't safe to have protests or riots. And so, the solution to ending the protests and riots may be the National Guard. Thank you for watching this video, guys, and bye.